Good morning, children. Today we are seeing the chapter Physics, chapter 12, Friction. Okay, so already we had an introduction to this chapter that friction is the opposite to your force. This is an object. If you apply the force, if you either push or pull it, then the friction will act in the opposite direction to that of the force. Okay, so what are the factors affecting friction? Nature of surface and mass of the object. Mass of the object, if it is of a heavy object, then the object will show high friction. If it is of a low massed object, then the object will show low friction. So nature of the surface, in the sense it means it's your surface irregularities. We saw everything in detail last class itself. I have posted that link also. You can watch that and then come back to this if you don't understand the introduction part. Surface irregularities are nothing but all the objects will have a kind of irregularities on the surface, though they appear smooth to us in the outer surface. When I have a microscopic view of the surfaces, they used to have some kind of irregularities like this. Even though the outer surface which appears to us is smooth, all the layers are having irregularities. So by overcoming these irregularities only, we move from one place to another, we push or pull a desk. Okay, so how do we overcome these irregularities? By the interlocking. So this is a table. Its surface has some irregularities. If I wanted to keep a book on this table, if I place a book on this table, the book surface also will have the irregularities. So both these irregularities would interlock and enable it to get moved to the another place. Okay, so if the surface is smooth, then the friction is low. If the surface is hard, then the friction would be high, so that it is difficult for us to move. So today we are moving to the next topic, that is the types of friction. There are 4 types of friction. Let us see each in detail. The first one is static friction. The meaning of the word static is at rest. Something which is in the stationary position. If an object is in the same position for 3 years, a desk is in the same position for 3 years, okay? If I wanted to move it, is it possible for me to drag the desk at the first instant itself? No, right? I have to put a lot of effort to move the desk from that stationary position. So that lot of effort done over there is because of static friction. Because in friction you have the interlocking of particles because of the surface irregularities. So the desk placed in a particular position would be tightly locked with the floor, so that it becomes highly difficult for me to drag the desk which is in the stationary position. So in a stationary in a static friction, the amount of effort to be done for movement is high. Okay, whereas the next one is your sliding friction. As the name tells, sliding means something which is going to slide down. Okay, let us consider this as a slope. If this is a desk which is placed here, will slide down, right? Because this is the surface is a slope. It is easy to move an object which is already sliding than the one which is in the rest position, isn't it? Do you agree with me? Yes, because one needs to put a lot of effort for an object to change its position from rest to motion. But I don't want to put a lot of work to move an object which is already moving. Right? So in case of a slope, when an object is placed, it starts to slide by its own. To push this object from back, I don't want to work too much. So the sliding friction is comparatively lesser than the static friction. Lesser in the sense, I mean the effort done. To move an object, the effort done is less compared to that of an object which is in the stationary position. Understood? The third friction comes as a relief to us. That is the rolling friction. The rolling friction is nothing but the objects which are having rollers exhibit easy movement than that of the objects moving in a slope or the object which is placed in the stationary position. Consider our trolleys, the luggages which we used to carry. Yes, they have the rollers at the bottom. Imagine a trolley without a roller. Is it possible for us to drag it, or is it possible for us to carry the heavy load? It is quite difficult, right? But our work is made easy with the help of rollers, because they roll down and we do not feel the heavy load in our luggages. Similar way, your bicycles and fans have the axle. The fan which rotates, the blades of the fan rotates because it has a center axle connected to the surface of the room, I mean the ceiling. They inside, if you have a look of the fan axle, you have the ball bearings like this. Ball bearings, which enables the blades of the fan to rotate smoothly. Okay, so whenever you have any object fitted with rollers or ball bearings, then for that kind of objects to show movement, it is always easy. They do not show high friction. Okay, so the amount of work done by you to overcome the friction is less over there. Understood? So we saw three types of friction. Each one was an alternative to the other, right? Static friction means the objects which are all placed at rest requires lot of amount of work to change its state from rest to motion. Compared to the static friction, sliding friction was a bit relieved because it is easy to move an object which is already moving. So that is why I have written it as at motion. The alternative to your sliding friction is your rolling friction. It is much easier for an object to move when fitted with rollers. So that is why I have written here as a comparison, rolling friction will have the least friction, sliding will have the less friction, and static has the highest friction. So which is the difficult of the three types is static. Which is the easiest one is the rolling. So which type of friction we do prefer? That is the rolling friction. That's why I gave it as a comparison. Next, fourth type of friction is your fluid friction. This type of friction is also called by another name called drag force. First, let us try to understand the meaning of the word fluids. Fluids means liquids and gases. The other three types of friction like static, sliding and rolling were dealing with the solid objects. But this kind of friction, that is the fluid friction, will deal with the liquids and gases, the objects moving in liquids and gases. Liquids and gases are commonly called as fluids. You know that there are three states of matter, solid, liquid and gas. Out of that, the liquids and gases, if I consider for the friction factor, then that is your fluid friction. Now let us see what is the fluid friction depend on. It depends on the speed, shape of the object and nature of the fluid. Ma'am, where do we come across the fluid friction? The aeroplane flies in the sky. For the aeroplane to fly, it needs to overcome the high atmospheric pressure present in the atmosphere and to move forward. So there occurs a friction between the surface of the aeroplane and the air molecules. Okay, So that is the fluid friction happening in the aeroplanes. Consider your ships. The ship has to travel from one region to another through the water. The surface of the ship has to overcome the friction between its surface and the water molecules. You know that water is also having the density. It is also a liquid. You cannot just like that walk in the water or run in the water as you do on the ground. You may slow down. Your speed decreases when you run or walk in the water. Why is it so? Because the nature of surfaces are different and the water is a dense liquid compared to the rare ground surface. Bare ground surface. Right? So that is why I consider the friction factor even in liquids and gases. So how come the friction happening between the air and the water molecules are overcome by the boat and aeroplanes? They depend on the speed with respect to the fluid. The speed at which they move in these fluids, the shape of the object, the shape of the boat and aeroplane is also considered, and the nature of fluid, whether it is a water or oil or kerosene, what type of liquid it is. Okay, liquids means it doesn't mean only water is considered. It can be even any other liquid. Okay, mercury, kerosene, oil. Okay. So the speed at which they move, if it is moving faster, then the friction will be less. If it is moving slower, an aeroplane moves with a moderate speed at an altitude of some kilometers in the sense, then the pressure over there is high, then the friction is high. The air molecule, the aeroplane cannot overcome the high atmospheric pressure in the air molecules, so that the speed decreases. It means the friction is high. Whenever the friction is high, its speed decreases. Whenever the friction is low, the speed increases. It is obvious, right? Shape of the object, I'll come to that lastly. Nature of the fluid is, so it is possible for a fish to swim faster in a water than to swim in any other liquid, highly dense liquid like kerosene or oil. Because their nature differs, their density differs. Okay. Shape of the object. That is a very important factor on which the fluid friction depends. The shape of the object is called by the name as streamline. It is not easy for all the objects to travel in the liquids. In the fluids. How did an aeroplane was shaped like this? How come a boat was shaped like this? Who gave the idea? Why is it successful that a ship or boat in the shape like this travels easily by overcoming the friction in the water? How it is made possible that an aeroplane in the shape similar to that of a bird is flying in the sky by overcoming the friction of air molecules? This is because the birds which have their wings are overcoming the friction between their wings and the air molecules. Right? So similarly, humans also just got an idea to frame a vehicle in the shape of the bird, and there comes our aeroplane. Even in an aeroplane you have the wings similar to that of the bird. Similarly, by seeing the fishes only, the boat and the ships were designed like this, because they have a surface like this which enables the fish to swim in the water. The similar way the humans thought and they framed a design for the ships. That is called as your streamline. That is the shape of the object. The streamline is nothing but the copying the shapes of organisms which overcomes the friction in fluids and thereby creating objects for our movement. So we are just copying the outer shape of the organisms. That is called as the streamlining the shape of the objects. Understood, children? So even this shapes helps to reduce the friction and move forward. So that is why the three factors on which the fluid friction is overcome is the speed. If the friction is high, speed is low. If the friction is low, speed is high. Shape, based on the streamlining, the friction is varied. Okay, nature of the fluid also, the friction is varied. If it is of water, the friction may be of some amount. If it is of any other liquid like oil or kerosene, then the friction varies. Thank you, children. Let us see the next in the next upcoming classes.